My name is Dr. Siobhan Doyle. I am author of A History of the GAA in 100 Objects and curator here in the National Museum of Ireland. The book, A History of the GAA in 100 Objects, comes from my own background in museum studies and material culture. I'm always really interested in how ordinary, everyday objects can tell extraordinary stories. The starting point for finding the 100 objects was usually museums, so places like here, the National Museum of Ireland, local museums across the country. Pubs were also great places to find different pieces of GAA memorabilia. There's lots of private collectors around the country as well, so there was an enormous amount of enthusiasm from the people that I approached, the county boards and the various different people involved. The GAA People, Objects and Stories exhibition is based on the book, and it brings together a new perspective of the GAA through design history, through social history and through popular culture. So here we've brought together many different objects, some of which have been on display to the public for the first time here. We've brought together archive footage and different images and photographs to tell the story of the GAA in a new way. The role of design within GAA is really important. There's been lots of changes, from the material that's been used in slitters to the shape of hurls to the design of jerseys and the material used in those. So there's a tweed camogie dress from the 1960s. It was worn by Maeve Gilroy on a very successful Antrim camogie team who went on to win a couple of All-Irelands during that era. It's made from Glens of Antrim tweed, so a really heavy material which would have been quite restrictive for the players. That dress is very much representative of the time and the style of the time, but camogie uniforms, like many sports uniforms, have a history of women being restricted. So etiquette is prioritised over athleticism. So thankfully now there's been many changes since. We also have a set of protective goggles which were worn by a man called John Joe Doyle, and he hurled for Newmarket-on-Fergus and for County Clare in the 1930s. So John Joe was a glasses wearer. There were no helmets when playing hurling in the 1930s, and he was fed up of his glasses getting broken. So he designed his own pair of protective goggles, and he made them himself out of bicycle spokes, elastic and medical bandages. So these goggles lent him his nickname, John Joe Goggles Doyle. From the GAA stories that people tell to the memorabilia that they keep, they're all really important parts of Irish folklore. On display as well, we have a ladies Gaelic football trophy which was designed by a man called Desmond Burn, and he works in the Kilkenny design workshops since the 1960s, and Desmond is also the person who made the Sam Maguire trophy in 1988, and he's still working as a silversmith today. It's very exciting to be part of one of the keynote events for Irish Design Week and to be in a discussion with people from so many different backgrounds, from hurley makers to fashion designers to former GAA presidents. There'll be a brilliant discussion of all sorts of topics, so we're very excited about it.